Yes, welcome back. And with respect to our last class, we had come across with context model. Then we had come across with what do you mean by a process model. Okay, what do you mean by different subsystems. Okay, and whereas we have an whole system, and we had come across with a case study of a Mendcare system, wherein I had specified that Mendcare system happens to be, as for us, we can just say it as a single system there, but it is made up of multiple subsystems there. Okay, so this was one what we had come across with our last class there. Then let us come across with today's class with respect to interaction models there. Okay, so with respect to interaction model, so what do you mean by interaction model? So interaction model, first of all, keep in mind it is the one wherein the user interaction comes into focus. Okay, where we always say that, or else where we always focus that user interaction is important, as it ultimately helps us to identify the what are the user requirements there ultimately. Okay, modeling system to system requirements, highlighting the communication problems that can arise. Okay, so these all things are being highlighted in your, these all are being identified and are being dealt in your interaction model there. Okay, so ultimately if a proposed system structure is likely to be delivered, the required system performance and dependability can be assessed through this particular interaction model there. Okay, use case diagrams and sequence diagrams are the one wherein I can just say specify that these are the sections, or else these are the UML diagrams which will help you to enclose, or else to it will help you to more and elaborate regarding your interaction model there. Okay, so firstly let us come across with what do you mean by use case modeling, or else what do you mean by use case diagram there. Okay, use cases were specially developed originally to support requirements elicitation and now incorporated into the UML. So usually it was the very first developed to support the requirement elicitation there. Okay, each use case represents a discrete task that involves external interaction with an system. Okay, that is each respective use cases whatever are there. Now, like for example, what do you mean by a use case? Use case is nothing but, now assume I go across, I visit an ATM system, then in the respective ATM system I interact with the ATM machine there. Okay, so when I have an interaction, I happen to be one actor and the other actor is the respective opaque actor, is nothing but the interactions which are happening across the users, or else it can be the opaque objects or anything there. Okay, so actors in a use case may be people or other systems there. Okay, representing diagrammatically to provide an overview of the use case and in a more detailed textual form there. Okay, so now like for example, what all communications I happen to go across with an ATM system, those all communications or those all transformations are being called out across as use cases there. Okay, so now like for example, you go to an drug shop, that is a medical store, and you ask across for an particular prescription there. You ask for that particular prescription, the particular prescription is searched in the medical store, and then that has been given to you. Okay, then appropriate billing has been done and it has been delivered to you. So what is these are all set of use cases. Okay, so these are use cases. Now like for example, you visit an library. Okay, so your library, the very first one is you show up your identity card, then they will be asking that have you come to take up any new textbook, or else have you come to what is a give back an old textbook which already you had taken across. So these things. Okay, so now whatever I'm saying, these are all in order. It will tell you that these are the use cases which happens to be an interaction between an actor called out as, if at all it's a library system, it is between me as an user and with the library principal, or else you can call it across as the library person there. Okay, librarian. So these are all kinds of communications there. Okay, so with respect to an example, you will come across to know. Okay, now if at all I say transfer data as a use case. Okay, use case in the Mendcare system. So transfer data is an use case here. Okay, and these are called out as your actors. Okay, so actors are shown across in UML with an stick diagram of an person. Okay, usually we used to do it in our childhood regarding these child sticks there. Okay, these sticks are nothing but your respective users, and this is called out as use case there. Okay, so this is an use case diagram of an transfer data use case there. Okay, which happens between two respective, either it can be actors, or else we can call it as the users, or else we can call it across as any opaque object also. Why I am specifying specifically saying opaque object is, it's not always required that an user only should be and one of the actor there. Okay, that actor can be replaced by an opaque object also. Okay, now if at all I have medical receptionist. Okay, medical receptionist is the one who transfers the data of the patient record system. That is, patient record system is the one which is having the database of all the respective patients there. Okay, so who is taking across that particular data? Medical receptionist is taking that. Okay, medical receptionist transfers the data to the patient record system there. Okay, so this is one use case there. Okay, so always keep in mind, whenever I say an use case, always keep in mind there are few things which are to be answerable for a use case. That is, who are the actors, what's the description, then what is the data, then what kind of a response, that is stimulus, who are the response person for that particular use case, then what kind of a response are you getting, then what can be the additional comments which you want to give. Okay, so for any respective use case, you should be in an action that you have to answer all of them. Okay, actors are nothing but, who are the actors here? Medical receptionist, patient record system, they are the actors. Okay, what's the description? Description says that a receptionist may transfer the data from the Medcare system to a general patient record database that is maintained by a health authority. The information transferred may be either be updated personal information, that can be address, phone number, etc., or a summary of the patient's diagnosis and the treatment there. Either it can be like, for example, a patient comes up and they update across with their address, phone number, or some other things else, some additional checkup that particular person has went through. Okay, and that additional treatment is being updated in the diagnosis and the treatment category. Okay, then comes the data. Okay, what's this data? Patient's personal information or else a treatment summary there. Okay, so that's the data what is being addressed there. Then what is stimulus? Stimulus is user command is being issued by the, who is issuing that transfer data there? Transfer data is being issued by the medical receptionist there. Okay, so this is one categorization which you can just see. And lastly, who is responding for that? Confirmation is received from the PRS. Okay, PRS is patient record system there. Okay, so these are some of the things which you have to take into consideration whenever you name anything called as use case there. Okay, so then use cases in Medicare system involving the role medical receptionist. So if at all I just say medical receptionist, okay, so at that time, who are the persons who are included in that? Okay, so whenever I say medical receptionist, always keep in mind what are the works which a particular medical receptionist does. Okay, medical receptionist is one who registers a patient, who can unregister a patient, who can view the patient number, then who can transfer the data, who can contact the patient. Okay, what are these all? These are all the use cases which are being performed by this particular actor. Okay, and one more very important thing, always keep in mind that whenever you are mentioning a respective and role between, whenever you are mentioning across with an role between an actor and a use case, always keep in mind that every actor, okay, should be connected with one respective use case there. Okay, and one use case should always be connected to the respective actor there. Okay, so though they both go hand in hand, always keep in mind. Okay, so it is something like they are one to one go in a relationship there. Okay, then followed out with that is your second set of diagram which will help you in interaction modeling, and that's called out as sequence diagrams. Okay, what is a sequence diagram? Sequence diagrams are part of the UML and are used to model the interactions between the actors and the objects within the system. Okay, so this is also somewhere similar to your use case, but it has an elaborative description there. Okay, single way of communication, whatever happens, they are all being looked across in a sequence diagram. Okay, a sequence diagram shows the sequence of interaction that take place during a particular use case or an use case instance. Okay, now like for example, whenever I am saying this as register patient, so with register patient there are sequence of messages which are being transferred there. Okay, which are being communicated. So those communications are being looked across as in a sequence diagram. So whenever you feel that these use case diagrams, some use cases are somewhere I feel that that's a complicated one or else has an huge number of set of transfers of data, then straight away what you guys can do is you can use this sequence diagram so that it will help you to elaborate your respective interaction modeling. Okay, so ultimately always keep in mind what is the need of this sequence diagram, or else what is the need of this use case diagram. Do not just study it as a part of your syllabus or something. Okay, so where it will work is whenever you are designing the functions which are to be looked across in your respective program. Okay, now like for example, if I ask you write a C program, write a C++ program. So whenever I ask you that, so these use case diagrams or else these respective sequence diagrams will help you to decide regarding that particular function, user defined function, which you are about to write and what you are going to write in that particular user defined function. Okay, what's the body of that particular function. Okay, so there it will have a major impact of it. Okay, so that is one of the very important aspect why UML is being studied. Okay, UML, because this is a design section and immediately after the design you are going across with an implementation. So that's why these diagrams are very important there. Okay, the objects and the actors involved are listed along the top of the diagram with the dotted line drawn vertically from this. I'll explain you with an example that will be more easier for you. Okay, interactions between the objects are indicated by annotated arrows. Okay, here you can just see what's a sequence diagram now. Okay, for view patient information. Okay, this is for what I am drawing the sequence diagram there. So at that time, who is the actor included? Medical receptionist. Okay, who are the objects included? One is patient info, Medicare database, then authorization. Okay, whenever you are viewing and patient information there. So whenever you are viewing a patient information, from where you are viewing it from an Medicare database. Okay, then what kind of patient information is being given to you? It can be the patient name, patient number, what is his history, and all these things are being included there. Okay, so to view this patient information from this Medicare database, you require an authorization. Until and unless you have an authorization, you cannot view anybody's patient information there. Okay, so these are the objects who are included there. Okay, so objects included are given either you can directly write this name, else you can use an object name, colon, and the respective name in elaboration. Okay, now P is an object for me which is representing patient info, D is an object for me which is representing Medicare, AS is an object for me which is representing authorization. Okay, medical receptionist, what he will do is he will, and one more thing, always come across these are the objects to me on the top. Okay, and line which is drawn for each of them, these are nothing but lifelines of these objects. Okay, lifelines of this object, till what time will it be there? So it is nothing but till that time the object is active. Okay, so one is, the very first one is you will be viewing the info. Okay, for viewing of info you require patient ID. Okay, then after that what it will do is it will ask out for that particular information from the Medicare database, that is a report of info, PID, UID. Okay, so then UID, what is this UID? UID is nothing but of this particular medical receptionist. Every medical receptionist will be with an user identification. Okay, that UID will be given. So from this Medicare, so an authorization is looked across. Okay, authorize. Okay, so authorized to whom? Authorization is checked for this particular UID. Okay, if at all you are an authorized person, it will deliver back. Okay, here I can just see this is the active part. This is all passive when this object is not really required. Okay, authorized one, then after this authorization you can just see that patient info is being given. Okay, so after the patient info, what will happen? This is one more very important thing, always keep in mind. I have drawn another rectangular box here. So what is this rectangular box? It says you with both of the things there, that is, if at all it is all yes, so it is nothing but after the authorization, immediately authorization okay, and you will view the patient info. Okay, if the authorization is not okay, so what will have? You will get an error there. Error, no SS, that's an authorization fail. So ALT stands out for alternative of this particular sequence diagram. Okay, so that is, apart from this, if at all there is an authorization failure, so at that time what can be expected? So either the authorization is okay, that time you will be having patient info. If authorization is a failure, you will get an error there. Okay, so this is one of the example for your sequence diagram. Okay, So next class I will tell you with an example for sequence diagram for transfer of data there. Okay, thank you.